do it. So everyone on the call, this is our Toolbox Tuesday, episode 2. In episode 1, we talked about advanced CRM. And in this episode, we'll be talking about our essentials bundle. These are the extensions that we believe every business that's using Business Central should have. We're going to split this Toolbox Tuesday into 2 different parts. We're going to split into dashboards, which are our financial dashboard extension, our sales dashboard, as well as our history and statistics. And then we're going to talk about our automations, which are invoice and statement delivery, advanced notifications, and advanced accounting. Now, remember, the chat box is always open. We'll be monitoring that throughout the call, but we like to get our hands dirty here. So we're going to have Ben hop right in to a live demo.
Awesome. Thank you, Grant. Well, my biggest challenge today will be fitting all of this great content into the next 26 minutes or so. So with that, we'll jump right into it. So like Grant said, the first 3 things we're going to be going over are our dashboarding capabilities. So the first one is going to be our financial dashboard. Now, the financial dashboard has a ton of KPIs and metrics. There's just over 30 total, and you can see those split across the top here. So I've got like my general tab, financial reports, AR, AP, all that good stuff. So specifically, what we're looking at right now is the general tab. Now, on your financial dashboard, you can see things like KPIs, which you set the goal, and then we track the actuals against. So things like revenue per customer on average, AR payments on time, AP payments on time, average paydays, things like that. So you can see right here, from an AP standpoint, I want to get 70% of my AP payments out on time here in this test system. We're getting 88% out, so that's great. However, our AR payments, getting payments from our customer on time, we also want to be 70%, but only 55% in this case are paying us on time. So just some things to look at, whether you can see if you're on goal or short of the goal very quickly there from a KPI standpoint. Another KPI that you don't have to set up, but we've set up here automatically, is the balance check. So this one's going to offer huge potential just from looking either at your data, if you're an end user, or partners to analyze your clients' kind of health of their Business Central environment, right? So we're looking at things like AR, AP, bank accounts, inventory, prepayments, all that good stuff. And what this is doing is quickly comparing the GL balance to the subledger balance and telling you whether you're in balance or out of balance. Luckily here, everything's in balance, so there's no status. If it was a out of balance between the GL and the subledger, you'd get a status here that says something about the 2 accounts being out of balance, and you need to do something to reconcile those and get those back on track, right? So again, just a quick health check. The next thing we have down here is you get to pick your 2 favorite financial reports. In this case, I just kind of throw up a basic income statement for 12 months and a balance sheet there. You can also break those out in a larger view by clicking Financial Report 1 or Financial Report 2. And what that's going to do is simply just take these same reports and give you kind of a larger view to those. So I'm going to continue to go across the tabs here. The next one being our accounts receivable tab. So what we've aimed to do here is give you kind of a one-stop shop on all of your AR data, right? So how much money is sitting in each AR bucket? Who are all of your past due customers, highest to lowest? And then if you want to see kind of that traditional summarized AR aging, we have that down here, right? So you can see all your customers, where they're located, phone numbers, contact, the terms, the credit limit, the payment dates, on average, how quickly they're paying. This is actually a custom calculation we've created. It looks at the last 5 payments compared to the invoice date and calculates, again, for kind of the trailing 5 invoices, how quickly is that customer paying you? And then, of course, we have all of our balance detail here, which all of this you can go ahead and drill down into if you'd like. If I go ahead and drill down, you see all my invoices there, and you can even drill down into those further through the find entries. So again, this is AR, kind of a one-stop shop that enhances what you get out of box with Business Central and gives you greater insights with drill downs into your AR data. AP is going to look exactly the same. We also have some inventory and sales. I'm going to skip those for now just because we do have a sales dashboard I'm going to show, and just kind of looking at the time, want to make sure that we have time for everything. But the last one I think is very important is this cash view. Again, still all within our financial dashboard. So what this cash view is going to do is quickly analyze how much cash do you have in each account. Another balance check, so it's looking at posting groups, what GL accounts tied to each bank account and posting group, and whether that group and GL are in balance or not there. If we continue to scroll down here, we've got cash totals, so how much cash sits in each account and what makes up the most. Cash usage historically, so what are your cash trends looking like in the past? And then also, if I go ahead and calculate this cash forecast here, one of the big things that we found missing kind of from the base Business Central product in general is the ability to have easy cash forecasting. So what this does is it takes a look at things you already have in the system like AR and AP. You also have the option to opt into sales orders and purchase orders, and then also a GL budget for recurring expenses. So things like payroll that are never going to hit AP, but you want to make sure that you're tracking those for cash flow purposes. You can plug all that in here, click that button, and it's just going to give you a quick grid of how your cash flow is looking for the next 90 days is what I have it set up for here, but you can set that up as far out into the future as you'd like. And of course, if you want to export that day by day to see how much cash you have in each bucket, you can go ahead and export the cash forecast here into a downloadable Excel format that you can take a look at and distribute to other people in your organization. So Grant, with that, I'm going to jump over next to our sales dashboard. Before I do so, wanted to see if there were any questions in the chat. If not, highly encourage people to throw some questions in there if there's anything that you want to run over or make sure that we address here. Otherwise, I'll keep on going. Grant, any questions?
Yeah, Ben. So Matt actually answered this one already in the chat, but this is good to bring up for everyone on the call. Is it Power BI behind these charts and reports that's doing this calculations? How are we getting all this stuff?
Yep. So the short answer is no. It's going to look very similar to Power BI, which is great because Power BI is a powerful tool and it makes data visualizations kind of pretty, right? It makes the data easier to view. But what we're actually doing is using Java controls with AL code in Business Central. So it's all directly embedded into BC. We don't need external Power BI licensing. You don't need to go anywhere externally to surface the data. It's all going to live directly in your Business Central environment through those JavaScript controls and kind of native AL code that's surfacing the data. Also makes it a bit quicker from what we found since it's pulling not externally, but pulling directly from Business Central. So short answer is no, and I'd be happy to answer any other questions around kind of how we're visualizing this data directly inside Business Central. But two biggest benefits are no extra licensing needed and the speed at which the reports run. So
Ben, we got a tack on question to that. Because it's built directly into Business Central, does that make it harder to support and modify?
To support it actually makes it easier since there's nothing really that you have to support. Kind of the goal again behind these is to build a prepackaged set of reports that every organization can benefit from, right? So we're looking at things like AR, AP, basic financials, some balance checks. But in terms of modifying, you're correct, right? So this isn't intended to be a tool that you're changing and modifying like you would in Power BI. The idea behind this is it's a prepackaged set of reports for, in this case, financial dashboard for $600 a month that you can plug and play with that requires really no support because there's nothing to support here. It's kind of a standard package, but also kind of not allowing you to modify it with the exception of a few things like the financial reports. You get to pick your own financial reports there that you want to display, and you can pick some dimension type of things that you're reporting on. But at the end of the day, this isn't Excel-based reporting tool, or it's not a Power BI-based reporting tool where you're creating your own reports in our tool. So hopefully that answers your question, Mark.
And Ben, just one addendum for everyone on the call. Financial dashboard is $600 a year, not $600 a month.
Misspoke. Yep, $600 a year for this license, and then we'll talk about it at the end. But our top package is $3,600 a year, which includes our entire library of apps, which there's currently 18 of in AppSource. So thanks for the correction there, Grant.
All right, you're good to go, Ben.
Awesome. Well, if everybody is cool with the $600 a month that I misspoke, then $600 a year should be a no-brainer, hopefully. But we'll jump over to our sales dashboard. So again, kind of taking what we learned in the financial dashboard, we're now jumping to a separate product, which is called our sales dashboard. Again, this is $600 a year for the licensing, unlimited users. Going to run through a few of these things again. So you'll notice that the top here looks very similar to what we saw in our financial dashboard. You're going to click through the different tabs to see the different metrics. Right now, what I'm on is the US sales. So kind of just a quick little bubble chart or heat map, right? That's showing you how much sales do you have in each location. Not only can you see the map here, but you could scroll up top here to see sales by state. You can click into the amounts if you'd like, maybe also click into the bubbles. Let's see what we got in Tennessee, for example. If I click into this, it's going to show me all of the invoices and credit memos that were posted against any customer in Tennessee in this case. And again, if you wanted to drill down further, you could simply come up here into process and find entries, all that good out-of-box Business Central stuff. You could also export or open this in Excel. Again, that's just all out-of-box Business Central, but showing how our tool works with some of those kind of native commands in Business Central. So that's the US. We also have a world view that you can download and check out for yourself in your environment, free for 30 days. As I go across these, I'm just going to show a few kind of highlights for our sales dashboard. The next one being our sales by salesperson. So here quickly you can see who are all your salespeople, how they have in each given period, what are your sales trends by date per salesperson, who are your top salespeople. Grant probably isn't too happy that I'm the top salesperson in my demo system, but I'm biased with my own data. So I'm our top salesperson here for today, Grant, in our app source testing. But you can, again, just see kind of how we go across from left to right here. We can see US sales, sales by date, by item, by dimension, by salesperson, by customer, and back order. I didn't this in the financial dashboard, but we also have some preset date ranges here that you can see. So we've got today, week to date, month to date, and if you click on any of those, it will simply just refresh your data for that time frame and continue to work with the data. We also have a custom date range you can do if you go into the settings. So in the settings here, you can see kind of what you want your default dashboard to be when you open it up, what dimensions you want to display on our by dimension tab. If you want to refresh, you can set it so that it automatically refreshes every 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And then you can also do a cycle view, which will cycle between the different tabs. So US sales by date, by item, all that fun stuff. Left to right, it will just cycle through the tabs. Imagine if you had it up on a TV in your office, right? That kind of thing would show up and it would just continuously cycle through the different tabs. Then, like I mentioned here, you could do a custom date range if you don't like all the date ranges that we've pre-populated up there. So I'm going to jump to our history and statistics just for the sake of time. I know we're about halfway through now. Grant, any other questions that came through before I jump to history and statistics?
One question did come through, Ben. Are there any margin types of reporting in Sales Dashboard?
There are a few different margin types on things like certain customers that you're working with, as well as items. And I can follow up with that one after the call, just since we won't have enough time for it today. So mark that one down, Grant, and we'll definitely follow up via email. So our last of the 3 dashboards that we're showing as part of our essentials package is going to be this history and statistics. Again, prepackaged view for data within this dashboard. So what history and statistics aims to do is give a really deep dive into customer data, item data, and vendor data. So what I have up on the screen right now is the customer history and statistics. So what this is actually doing is drilling down into customer 100, Snow and Ice Removers LLP in this case, and it's showing me for this one customer how much sales have we done in the last 12 months, what's their balance, average pay days, fulfillment days, on-time delivery percentage, what are they typically buying, what are their trends over the last 12 months on how much they're buying, how much money sits in each AR bucket, what are their AR trends, what are they typically buying, where are they located on a map, what's everything they've bought in the last 12 months and how much have they bought of each item. Again, a great tool for either your reps, your salespeople, internal CSMs to take a look at maybe when they're calling them up to either upsell them or make sure that they're talking about the relevant items for that customer. Any open orders for this customer, you can click directly into those. Quotes and returns also that are open. If they're using jobs, it'll show the job planning lines, every posted invoice for this customer, and then the change log. Now, this change log is one of my favorite and one of a lot of our clients' favorite features. Instead of having to actually go into the out-of-box change logs in Business Central, what this allows you to do for this one customer, if you come in here, it'll show you everything that's changed. Of course, you have to be tracking it, which is an out-of-box Business Central function. But what we've made it easy to do here is see all of those changes in one spot so you can quickly see what's changed by who, when was it changed. Again, just makes working with the change logs a lot easier to navigate and work with, which we've got a lot of positive reviews on that one feature alone, in addition to obviously everything that I just showed as well. One more thing on the history and statistics, I do like to show the item because it's kind of a different flavor of the same thing, right? So for customer, again, drilling down different metrics though on this item side. So on the item, it's going to show you specifically for this item, how much you've got on hand, how much is available, lead times, day supply, average age of your inventory. sales and purchase trends, which I really like because it shows, okay, we had this huge influx of purchasing, but our sales trends didn't really change. So why did someone purchase an extra 100 of these? Unless there's a huge order, I don't really know why. Inventory levels, kind of what your inventory level trends are. Again, kind of going with that sales and purchase trend here, that inventory rose and then we never really sold any of it. How is our purchase price trending versus our sales price trending, right? Over the last couple of years, we've seen all prices increase. So you can see here that as time goes by, that purchase price has been increasing, but good news is that our sales price trends have also been increasing and hopefully outpacing the purchase price trends. What open quotes, orders, or returns do we have for this one specific item, both on a sales and a purchasing side? Again, open jobs, open production orders. How much inventory do we have by location for this one item? Inventory aging and valuation metrics. So how much inventory do we have in our warehouse and how old is all of it, right? From a FIFO standpoint, we want to get rid of a lot of this stuff that's got a very old inventory age that's been in there for almost half a year now. And then again, of course, we have that change log information down here to see who changed stuff on the item, when did they change it, what was the old value, what was the new value. So all that fun stuff. That's our 3 dashboards. We got about 10 minutes left, Grant. So I want to go into our automation side of things. So more of our productivity and automation apps, starting with our invoice and statement delivery. Any more questions while I jump over there, Grant?
Not at the moment, Ben. You're on the money.
Perfect. So for invoice and statement delivery, I'm actually going to stick to the setup screen just for time's sake. On the setup screen, what we're going to have here is the ability to do a handful of different things. The most popular one, the ability to send invoices immediately upon post. So just process an invoice like you're doing today, either from a sales order or a sales invoice. And when you click the out-of-box post button, it's automatically going to send those invoices to the customer for the email that you have on file. And you can do things like CC yourself in, define different people that it's sending from, whether you want to just do the default or act as if it's coming from the salesperson or an assigned scenario. And then you can also customize your email subject as well as the email body. So if I click into this here, you can see I've got my email body customized to have a few different cards. Hey, please find invoice 1234 attached for customer name. Here's the amount due. Here's the due date. Add in, a payment link if you have a payment portal that you're using. And the goal of this is to help streamline the AR process so that your customers are getting their invoices faster and ultimately reducing your day sales outstanding so that you're getting paid faster, right? In addition to that, we have the same functionality on credit memos and payment receipts. We have the ability then to also do dunning notices through past due reminders, as well as automate the sending of statements each month. So again, the whole goal over here is to kind of streamline your AR process. The past due reminders are very crucial. And what they're going to do if you turn these on is, in this case, I have a 1D, 7D setup. What that's going to do is one day after the invoice was due, it's going to send them a reminder that says, hey, your invoice was due yesterday. Please make prompt payment. Then every 7 days after that, if they still don't pay, it's going to send this follow up, which is basically just going to be maybe a little bit harsher messaging or whatever you want to put in there. It's all user defined. So you could say, hey, now you're 8 days past due, or 7 days past due, 14 days past due, 21 days past due, and so on until they pay. Please make prompt payment to avoid suspension of the account, right? So it's just automatically going out of the system for when that customer invoice fulfills that criteria. And then similarly on this statement, it's going to be kind of like the past due reminders, but it's just sending out the statement every month with everything that they have. And you have the ability to not only send the statement, but you can also include attachments of the invoices alongside the statement. The past due reminders automatically send the invoice attachment as well. So your customers can't say, hey, I never got the invoice, right? Because the invoice is going to go out with every single reminder. So again, overall goal here is to reduce your day sales outstanding and reduce the amount of button clicks that your folks have to do internally just to get things out the door, right? It's to automate that full process. Then the last two things before we jump into the next piece is going to be our recurring documents. So you have the ability to set up recurring sales invoices and sales orders. You can set those up, put them on a recurring frequency, make sure that those are going out the door in a timely manner. And you can also update certain fields on posted documents so you don't have to fully void and recreate orders and invoices. This allows you to not only change it kind of on the fly, but it's also kind of backfilling all of the necessary GL transactions as well if you're adding, deleting, or editing things. So another way to save time outside of having to completely void and recreate that transaction. So I don't see any questions, but thank you, John, for dunning notices. Yay, awesome. Definitely, we were excited when that was created internally as well. So huge benefit there that we're seeing, and we're seeing that in a lot of our reviews as well. So two more that I'm going to try to get through in the next 7 minutes or so. Advanced notifications. I'm going to go through the setup real quick. Advanced notifications does three things. Can do pop-up notes on items, customers, and vendors. Not going to spend a lot of the time there. Pop-up notes are pretty common. I know there's a few other tools that do this as well, but again, trying to be the one-stop shop for all your kind of Business Central extension needs. And then we also have ad hoc notes, which I'll show here in a second, basically just tagging someone and having a note go out to them automatically. And then the third one being event-driven notes. So think of event-driven as sales order ships, purchase orders received, prepayment invoice has been paid. So when something happens that someone else needs to take action on, send them an email, right? Purchase order's been received. Okay, great. We need to go do something with it, right? Sales order shipped. Okay, great. Maybe that triggers a follow-up or a thank you note. Definitely prepayment invoice has been paid and received. Okay, well, now we can go continue to process the order, right? So that's kind of the event driven. And then when I go into any posted document or open document, these are the ad hoc notes that I'm talking about. So if I go to add a note here, and I just go @Ben, please make sure you check this invoice to be paid today. I should also be able to add like an image or whatever you want in here. It's rich text HTML, so you should all be good there. I'm going to save it and close it. And let me pop open my email here on another screen because I want to show you what that triggers. All right. So what that's going to trigger, I said @Ben, please make sure this is checked and paid today. That's going to send me that email and has all the information that we just sent, including the image. And if I click the link in the email, it's going to open me directly back up into that screen that we were just on, right? So again, the goal here is to increase the amount of communication you're having across your team and decrease the amount of time it takes things to get done, right? By not having to copy and paste things and copy and paste links into emails, it really provides an easy workflow to work with your people and get messaging across to those people. Not sure if there's a question about this, but it is a common, frequently asked question. This works for both internal and external users. The only difference with external users is they obviously wouldn't be able to click those links to get into Business Central, but they would still see any of the images and the notes that you put on it along with the sales order invoice number, for example. So that's kind of the quick view at our advanced notifications. And then the last thing before I pass it back to you, Grant, to go with the kind of closing remarks is our advanced accounting tool. Now, advanced accounting is kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of different features. Our most popular definitely being the ability to auto email reports out to internal folks on your team. So this is a report I got yesterday. I used this live in my production instance. And this is the AR, but you can do AR, AP, income statement, balance sheet, sales summary, inventory valuation, and job with. And really the idea behind this is it's emailing you this report every day to quickly check your AR statistics. And then it's including this output for your aging. So it's going to look very similar to what we saw on the financial dashboard, just quickly giving you all of your customers high to low, when the last payment was, what their average paydays are, payment terms, credit limits, all that fun stuff directly going into your inbox. You don't have to run the report or anything. You just schedule this to run daily. And again, there's about 7 reports that we can do this with currently. In addition to that, probably the other most popular feature in advanced accounting is our payment remittance dashboard. So allows you, when paying vendors, to more easily work with those payments and see those payments after the fact, and also automate the sending of the remittances out to your vendors so that they're ensuring that they get their remittance information so that they can expect to see it in their bank within a few days. So that is our essentials bundle, our 6 apps, our 3 dashboards, and 3 of our productivity and automation tools. Grant, I think we hit the time on the head, but I want to make sure that I give you a few minutes back here to close us out after our live demo and talk about pricing and our next Toolbox Tuesday.
Yeah, Ben. So we actually have some questions coming in as well.
Let's answer those. Let's answer those first.
So is there a daily sales summary?
There is a daily sales summary. Yep.
Beautiful. So we got another question that's being typed right now. But while that question is being typed, everything we've talked about today, everyone, this is all priced per tenant. So if you have a client with multiple companies or with multiple users, No need to worry about that. All of our dashboards and automation tools are between $600 to $900 a year. We do offer Essentials package that has all of them for $2,400 a year, or an unlimited package for $3,600 a year that includes all 18 of our extensions. Ben, if you can pop over the next slide.
Yep.
Keep in mind, everyone, that you can also download any one of these as a free trial for 30 days. We actually just put our bctoolbox.com link in the chat box for everyone to check out. Our next Toolbox Tuesday actually won't be 2 weeks from now. Ben and I are going to be at the Doug Waco for Texas User Group. So if anyone's going there, feel free to hang out with us and say hi. We're really excited. But on July 11th at 11 a.m. Central, we will be talking about our new project management extensions. You can think of this as an alternative to the jobs module. So for anyone that actually wants to get set up on this next meeting on July 11th, we're going to go ahead and we're going to post the registration link in the chat box as well. Last question for you, Ben, coming from Mark. Are there any setup fees involved with these 6 extensions?
So the short answer is it depends, right? Every consultant's favorite answer. We do have documentation on all of our applications available online. So if you want to kind of go through step by step, you can absolutely set them up for free by yourself. If you do want our help to set them up, we do charge per hour. Our hourly rate's $195 an hour. And depending on the app, like a lot of the dashboards you could get done just if you want to ask questions and do a Q&A in under an hour. Some of our more complex apps that we didn't talk about today, like Advanced CRM, we have a standard 20-hour implementation fee that goes along with Advanced CRM. But most of the tools that we talked about today can get completed in under an hour. And if you want extra handholding on something like invoice and statement delivery, since there are a lot of features, we can typically get it done in under 2 hours. But we do have a ton of free resources in terms of documentation and YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff if you want to take a self approach to implementing. So just depends on how you like to get it set up.
Beautiful. So Ben, if you want to pop over to the last slide for us, want to thank everyone for hopping on this call today. We're going to keep this Toolbox Tuesdays series going with episode 3 on project management on July 11th. But anyone who has any questions, wants to talk about partnership, an end client, or if you are an end client and you want to learn more, reach out to us, info@erpconnectconsulting.com. We're excited to work with you.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for joining today. And we will shut the session down for now, but I will stick around for another minute or two to answer any other questions that folks may have. So thanks again, everybody. And we will see you in a couple weeks on our next Toolbox Tuesday episode.